What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are back with another F1 2020 race. This is the Russian Grand Prix. No corner cutting, no gimmicks. This is a straight up 100% race on the PC with you guys. I put out a tweet and we filled up a lobby very quickly. So shout out to everyone who tuned in to take part in this race, and also to everyone who managed to make it to the end, doing a 2-hour-long race with literally 2 minutes notice is a monumental effort from you guys. So thanks to everyone who tuned in, and make sure you follow me on Twitter to get involved in future open lobbies. But yeah, here we go for a 100% race. I intentionally disqualified myself on the qualifying lap. I didn't want to start at the front. It's such a long race that you've got so much time to make up the difference, and I always find it more entertaining to start from the back more often than not in online videos. So here we go, 53 laps of the Russian Grand Prix, and I guarantee that this will probably be more entertaining than the real life Russian Grand Prix. So we'll have to wait and see how it all goes. We're jumping in the AlphaTauri, and we're going to see if we can win this race from P10 on the grid. A lot of people got their laps disallowed in quali with 5 red lights, and we are underway for the Russian Grand Prix. 53 laps of the Sochi Autodrome, and we find ourselves up in P9 already. A bit of kerfuffling going on behind us in the mid-pack as we head into turn 1, and it's a very close affair. Many people getting the braking wrong, and the safety car has been deployed after only one corner of racing, and the shenanigans continues after the yellow flag is brought out. People are just swerving into each other, illegally overtaking. It's absolutely mad down here in turn 3 of the Russian Grand Prix. Somehow we're going backwards as well. We got overtaken by quite a few people under safety car. And as I tried to get my positions back, the game tells me to give it back to the people who illegally kind of stole it in a way. So having to come to a complete stop to give the positions back, that Red Bull then overtakes me again. And then I'm not allowed to keep my position, which I already had. What is this game? P13. And we were heading into turn 1 in like P7 or something. P15 now in this Russian Grand Prix. It's been absolutely ridiculous. Do I keep that position? No, I don't. Unbelievable. I have no words. A lot of people on Twitter have been saying that this game gets worse with every update that comes out, and sometimes I think they're being a bit dramatic, but I think this is legit. I think the game is getting worse with each match. No one can keep their position. You know what I think was happening there? I think that both parties were getting told to let the other car go back through. Like, the game couldn't decipher who was ahead before the illegal overtake under yellow flags happened. So it just blames both parties, and then someone ends up with a penalty. Like me, just there. I was paused in the race director for like 2 minutes, and then I unpause, and apparently I've been ignoring yellow flags. Like, how does that make sense? I had no control over the car. The AI car was doing it. But I'm at fault for something. I don't even know what. I don't even know anymore. So we've got to serve a 5-second stop go in the next pit stop. I've opted not to stop under this first safety car. I just want track position now, because I've seen how manic it is with this group of drivers. I just want to keep myself out of trouble, and it's a low tire wear circuit anyway. Stopping now for mediums or even hards isn't going to do anything for me. It's only going to send me towards the back, and we're not going to get away with one less stop in this race. So I'm just going to stay out there. I don't have any damage. People are lagging. We're back up in a P7, and now this McLaren is driving really slowly, so I'm going to overtake. I'm allowed to pass, apparently. We put it up in overtake. And then what do you know, as soon as I overtake, return the position. Thanks, Jeff. And you know what's happened? The McLaren driver got told to let me through now as well. So now we've got a Mexican standoff of who's going to take the penalty out of me or the McLaren. I'm not budging. The McLaren isn't either. Yep, there we go. It's What a nightmare this update has done to the F1 game. And I've got a penalty for someone running into the back of me. Can you believe this? You know what? I'm just going to come to a complete stop. I can't get penalized if I stop dead on track. Oh. I'm going to take it one step further. I'm going to stop off the circuit and pause the game. Surely then, whoever overtakes me shall be fine to keep the position. I think we're okay now. I think we are okay. Oh, right, now that that's all sorted out, the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. We were in P7 in the middle of that, and then we dropped 4 positions because, I don't know, this game's broken again. So that's fun. But, yeah, we're going to go racing once more. We have 10 seconds of time penalties to serve in our pit stops. So 2 5-second stop goes, which will be served in the next 2 pit stops if we make that many stops. People are losing front wings up ahead as people are driving very slowly. I think, again, illegal overtakes are happening and such. It's just a bit of a mess, really. So, yep, that's good. Love the online support that this game gets. This game, really, Codemasters should prioritize online now, especially now that the game is out, I suppose. I really want online to be, I don't know, a priority for these guys in the future. Hopefully we'll get that one year, but looks like we've got a bit of time to wait for that. Anyway, I'm going to stop moaning now. Lap 6, we're on the march here, overtaking my teammate who's lost his front wing. That moves us up into P7. We do have good pace, good consistency, and I'm going to utilize that in this race to cut my way through the field and hopefully get myself to the front of the grid. Going green in this first sector. We haven't had a lap of green flag running yet. That was a long safety car, by the way. I think we were under safety car for like 5 laps. I was starting to wonder if the safety car would ever come in. But anyway, we're making moves here. We're getting past the Racing Point around the outside into the 3rd sector. We might get the Haas driver as well. The Racing Point driver dive bombs the Haas and makes life difficult for those two. The Haas is going to switch me back here into Sector 3, the left-right chicane. We hold on around the outside, and that is us up in a P4. Hang on a second. This might be the podium as well as we go around the outside of the other Racing Point, the other Pink Panther, into the last corner, still side by side, leaving him lots of space. And we get the big squeeze on exit. Teammate is in the pit lane. Still going around the outside. It's going to be 3 wide down into turn 1. I'm leaving lots of space on the inside. But the Haas driver, I think, got squeezed by the Racing Point, which is rather unfortunate. And we left the Racing Point lots of space. And then he kind of clattered into our side pod, unfortunately. Not much I could do there. I thought I left lots of space. Lap 8. And that was a warning for a corner, which wasn't even a corner, really. That was just laziness on my behalf. But, yeah, I think we're finally settling into the race now. It's lap 3, 10 laps into this race, so 1/5 of the way through. We get the measure of the Ferrari, who runs wide. We quickly caught up to this group in clear air, and now we are utilizing the pace that we've got in this Russian Grand Prix. One driver who's actually really pacey in this race is Estab Onko. And for argument's sake, I'm just going to call him Esteban Ocon, because it looks like he's rearranged the letters, and he's in the Renault, so it makes sense. But anyway, we're fighting side by side here with the Ferrari. Very close affair between the two of us, but we managed to get the measure on him, and we are back into P2 in this Russian Grand Prix. So, let's see if we can take the fight to the McLaren up ahead. He's a little bit wayward through this middle sector, not taking the greatest lines in the world, I'm not going to lie. But he's placing his car well. He goes defensive into the left-hander, and we overtake all the way around the outside in the middle sector. That is not a conventional overtaking move, but we've got it done anyway in a very odd spot. And we move up into the lead of this race after 11 laps. And perhaps a mistake or a lack of foresight on my behalf. I didn't put it up into overtake. I thought I'd be okay, and old mate the McLaren just DRS or ERS blasts right past us, essentially. And I think he had DRS as well. So, yeah, that was, yeah, not placed to overtake. And he was best primed to get the position back, essentially. But let's see if we can get him back here in the DRS and the slipstream of the car ahead. Another VSC in this Grand Prix. I think we've had about 3 already, 2 or 3. So, that's fun. But, yeah, the VSC didn't last very long, and we're going to go back to green flag running. We nearly got a drive-through penalty there as we overstepped the delta, but thankfully we managed to correct that at the last second. And now it looks like we've got momentum on the race leader. We're up into overtake and rich fuel mixture. He goes defensive into the next right hand, and we're going to go clean around the outside into the third sector. But unfortunately, I was a bit gung-ho into there. And not only have we lost the lead, but we've lost P2 in that gutsy last of the late breakers move into Sector 3. And we have to do it all over again as we get a nice run on the Ferrari. I'm not really sure what his deal is there. And we get back up into P2. So, a bit sloppy from all of us, to be honest. I realise that I am, not to sound overly cocky or anything, probably the fastest driver in the field. And I realise that, and maybe I'm getting a little bit complacent. But we're going to see if we can get the move done. A late switch to the inside. Nothing doing there into turn 1. And we're just going to bide our time for now. Nice exit. Spoke too early. And now we're under pressure from the Ferrari once more. So let's see if we can hold on. A couple of nice corners strung together. And now we'll be back on the McLaren in quick time. As we see, again, he's weak in this middle sector. Maybe he's running low downforce. Runs wide at the right-hander. And boom. Counter-attacking move up the inside this time into the left-hander. This time, when we get the lead, we'll make sure we put it up into overtake and then hold on to it. Let's see if we can do that, Ben. That would be a nice, smart move. No, I don't put it up into overtake. I haven't learned my lesson, but thankfully maybe the McLaren was out of ERS deployment and we hold on for the lead of the Russian Grand Prix. A very weird old race, and we're only 15 laps in now. But yeah, at this point, we're pushing on old tyres. We're going to see if we can chuck in a fastest lap of the Grand Prix here. You can see going purple to the first sector. 2.5 tenths up on my previous best. And we're looking to extend the gap on the car behind, who is Esteban Ocon, who's now climbed his way up into P2. I said he was the driver to watch, and he is absolutely flying in this Grand Prix. So we come to the end of the first lap in clear air. And we do chuck in a fastest lap. 1 minute 35.556, which is actually pretty impressive on tyres that are this old. 18 laps. Another VSC.
Safety car. Reduce speed immediately and keep a positive delta.
That is annoying. I swear the VSCs came out so many times in this race, and I think there'll be plenty more to come as well. For whatever reason, the race director didn't fancy chucking out safety cars all too often. We only have one on lap 1, corner 1, and we've had 20 laps of racing without it interrupting again. But pit window is now open. I'm now considering stretching out this stint until lap 30 or so, but the VSC is out again. This is VSC number 4. But yeah, because it's VSC and I was catching up to a ghosted car, you actually can't overtake a ghosted car under VSC. So that's why I opted to make my pit stop. And we're going to get away with maybe a free pit stop here. The reason why we actually had a lead of about 2 seconds at the last VSC, the one before this one, a lap or 2 ago. And the people behind us lost about 5 or 6 seconds. And that was because they themselves caught up to a ghost car and they couldn't overtake it. And so that was rather unfortunate on their end, which allowed me to get out a bit of a lead. But anyway, we made our pit stop. We served the 5-second stop go. And we are out onto the racetrack once more. Kyle Holt now assumes the lead of the race. And I can tell you, he has actually made a pit stop. We checked the race director on exit of the pit lane. And he went for a set of mediums some time ago. So this is a genuine fight for the lead now. And we're going to take the sandbags off, essentially, and see if we can catch this guy in fast forward. Showing you guys my fastest lap of the race so far. with an asterisk next to it. We come out of the final corner, and that is the 35-2. We've caught this guy by like 2 or 3 seconds on this lap. We're going to press on for another lap. Ran wide at the turn 1 chicane. It's essentially turn 2, but if I call it turn 1, please forgive me, racing purists out there. So yeah, I was attempting to go for another fastest lap here, and then we've caught up to the race leader on our second lap of asking, which is pretty crazy considering he was like 5 or 6 seconds up the road. The pace difference really is that large. I don't know how old his tires are though. They could be 20 laps old. I really don't know. And that could be the reason why his pace isn't all there at this stage. But anyway, we're in the slipstream in the DRS. We're going to go up and overtake here and see if we can use this guy as a leapfrog to get another fastest lap. But I can't clear him heading into the braking zone of turn 1. I've gone in a bit deep, compromised, had to make sure I didn't cut the second part of turn 1. And that lack of exit speed has allowed Kyle Holt to get back up the inside and into the lead once more. Another VSC. I have actually lost count of how many VSCs there has been in this Grand Prix. I think at this rate, there's going to be more VSCs on this video than what there will be likes. And I'm not even exaggerating. This is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, can we get past Kyle Holt? We're up into overtake here. We're going to use him again as leverage to get DRS, get a higher top end speed, and go for a fast lap. But again, I can't clear him before the braking zone of turn 1, and I think this time I've given him a bit of a squeeze. And so I thought, you know, it's a long race, and we're on our own at the front, so I'll be very sportsmanly about this and let him go back through. The battle will continue on, and we can continue to duke it out at the front of the field for this Russian Grand Prix. But since letting him go back through, I've now backed it off a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to charge up my battery over the next few laps, and then I'm going to go again. But as soon as I've decided to lower the intensity, he's driving very slowly in the third sector, with 3 seconds slower than my fastest lap. That was rather odd. He was driving really, really slowly there, and I was almost driving like I was on the safety car there. No exaggeration. It's, yeah, we backed it off, and maybe he's lowered the pace as well, because Esteban Ocon behind is catching up. He was 13 or 14 seconds behind me in terms of delta. He's now getting within the realms of under 10 seconds as we continue to follow Mr. Kyle Holt here into Sector 3. We definitely seem to have really good low-speed rotation, low-speed grip. Mechanical grip in this car is really solid, and that's all down to the Golden USA setup. But I think this time I'm actually going to go for a move around the outside. It's all gone tits up in this Russian Grand Prix, and we... Oh, I've thrown it all away. I have thrown it all away. Oh, man.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
I don't want to check my MFD for a new strategy option. So, okay, we'll get a replay of that up in a second. But I was... You know what? I think some people will blame Kyle Holt for that. I blame myself, to be honest. I think my complacency has ultimately cost me there. I was getting so far ahead of myself. I was too focused on getting the slipstream, getting the fastest lap. The reason why I had this predetermined decision in my mind that I was going to go to the left and hold the racing line because I wanted to brake later and have a nice run through turn 1. And my mind was set on going to the left-hand side of the road here. And even though Kyle Holt moved to the left to defend the left, I still went there anyway because that's where I decided that I was going to go. And if I was just thinking with a clear head, I would have just switched to the right last second. But I wasn't really thinking, and complacency has got the better of me. To be honest, as well, I should have just not mucked around with that guy. I should have just overtaken him as soon as possible. I was holding back stupidly for a few laps there. I should have just overtaken him and got on with my race. But now I find myself in P6, 30 seconds off the lead. I think, yeah, maybe more than that. So I think I might have lost about 35 seconds, or at least 30 seconds with that front wing change, the pit stop, and the 5-second stop go. We are a long way off the pace now. We've got 21 laps to go in this Russian Grand Prix. And unless there's another safety car, it's going to be mightily tough to win this race. We do have a lot of pace. We do have that. So I have no doubt that we'll be able to get our way back to the front. But in terms of winning this race, that now is going to be a genuine challenge. Another thing we've got in our favor is we've got a very lack of penalties. I think at this stage, I've only got 3 seconds against my name. And I have done the math, the questioning from Jeff about other people. And some people have a lot of penalties. Kyle Holt, I believe, has got like 27 seconds worth of penalties. Esteban Ocon, 15 seconds worth of penalties. And then the other guys, I don't know. But yeah, a lot of penalties for the guys up ahead. We just need to make sure that we get close enough to them to capitalize on that post-race once those penalties are applied. But I don't want to win a race like that. I do want to win by overtaking them on circuit. And that's what we're going to try and do. Fastest up at the Grand Prix last lap, 33.5. Again, going for another fastest up, but traffic is now going to interrupt that. P5 here in the Mercedes, who is on hard compound tyres. I really don't want to be in this player's shoes, as that is not a good combination to have. Hard compound tyres at Russia, their mechanical grip must be absolutely nowhere. But we're in the slipstream of him and the Alfa Romeo, and these guys battling side by side in a turn 1 is not a good omen. So I'm going to favour a good exit here and see if I can punch past both of them on the exit. We keep one wheel on the circuit there, which deems it legal, and we get 2 places in one go here in this Russian Grand Prix. Still holding the inside there, and there we go. We are through, cleared the traffic, and now we can set after the top 3 in this race. Very clean, very effective, and we just about held onto the racetrack there to keep it a legal move. But anyway, we're marching on in this race. Nowhere near my previous best lap time, which is a 33.5 or something. And yeah, it's very hard to keep up that consistency because the tyres do die off, and I think I used a lot of rich fuel mixture and overtake, so staying near that delta is going to be near on impossible. We did just get another penalty, so that racked us up to 6 seconds worth of penalties. Still a lot less than our rivals, but we don't want to get complacent again and rack up any more. We want to make sure we stay nice and clean for the rest of this race, and this is where consistency is really going to earn me this race victory, I guess. But meanwhile, we've caught up to Kyle Holt, the guy who we were battling for the lead. He was up ahead of Esteban Ocon by a few seconds, and now he's actually just got disqualified on the exit of that right-hander. It had to be what it was, because he ran wide a little bit, and then it was almost like AI took control. So I'm going to check the race director and just see if he's been disqualified. He has. He has literally been disqualified right in front of me. He had 27 seconds worth of penalties when I was checking the information from Jeff. And that was like 10 laps ago. I think you get a limit of about 36 seconds worth of penalties. Then you get disqualified. So he racked up another 3 penalties and then, yeah, got disqualified. So, yeah, that is rough. We are running on strict corner cutting rules, and it's a 2-hour-long race. If you are not clean, then the consequences will be very, very harsh. But anyway, 10 laps to go. We've caught up to Esteban Ocon here for the race lead. He was 10 seconds up the road. We quickly reeled that in. He's now lagged behind us. Either some kind of lag spike or desync issue, some kind of PC issue. Anyway, it's unfairly cost him the lead, so I thought just to be sportsmanly, I give him the spot back and we can continue to fight it out for this race victory. I want to earn this victory and I want to do it on track, so let's see if we can overtake this guy once more. 10 to go, and the stock compound tyres, for those wondering, are holding out very well. Low tyre deg circuit, 100% race, so the tyre wear is, the tyres will last twice as long as what they would in a 50% race. So this is the equivalent of doing, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 laps on softs at the end of a 50% race. We only had to do about 20 or so in this. So it should be absolutely fine in terms of tyre wear. So, yeah, we'll make the most of that, and we'll see on this occasion if we can get into the lead of this race. Overtake mode is engaged. Rich fuel mixture is flowing, and now we're in the slipstream. We're going to go to the outside. Esteban Ocon defends the inside. For the lead of the Russian Grand Prix, we go around the outside, and that is the move done. Could you imagine Esteban Ocon and maybe Pierre Gasly, or dare I say it, even Danny Kvyat, fighting for the lead of the Russian Grand Prix tomorrow or later today, whenever you're watching? That would be insane. But there has been less out there things that have happened, i.e. Pierre Gasly winning at Monza. So you never quite know. But anyway, it's the last lap now. We lead by 10 seconds. We've got our third penalty of the race. That puts us up to 9 seconds. But it's absolutely fine. We have had a pretty good race. We had a lot of pace in our pocket, I suppose. We did get a bit complacent at the midway point of this race. But after the big mistake, we reeled it in, got our head down, and we have earned ourselves this race victory once more through the final corner. We win the Russian Grand Prix. 53 laps of Sochi. And it may be boring in real life, but you can still overtake around here on the game, which is lovely to see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. Like I said at the start of the video, follow me on Twitter if you want to get involved in races like this. And yeah, let's do it. I do miss doing the open lobbies. Now that things are calming down with career mode and stuff, I do want to do other types of content. So more online videos will be the general theme of the channel while still doing career mode, of course. But yeah, that was fun. Very, very fun indeed. Fastest lap, P1. And I guess you can't really ask for much more than that. Poor old Kyle Holtz. He got so far into the race and then got disqualified. F's in chat for him. But anyway, that is the end of the video. We've got a few interesting tracks coming up in real life. So I'm either going to resort to Assetto Corsa or maybe even iRacing. At least for like Imola, I'm thinking iRacing, and we could do some races on there. I think that'd be absolutely sick. We've got tracks like Turkey as well, Bahrain. So for the tracks that I can do races on 2020, I'll do that. But keep an eye out for online races on other platforms, which I think would be absolutely cool. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys for a brand new video very soon.